This is Tom Rust for TRSB Sports Podcast. Today, once again, delighted to be joined by professional boxer Maximus Jenkins. How you doing, Mr. Jenkins? It's been a while.
Has been a while. When's the last time we did it? We did a little podcast after the Fury fight, didn't we? How long ago was that?
Oh,
7 weeks ago.
Well, it's 23rd of April, wasn't it? The Fury fight. Didn't we do? Yeah, because you were out there having your fight. Yeah, so it's been a little while, mate. How you been?
Yeah, I've been all right, mate. I've been all right. Just come back from sparring. Wasn't my greatest of spars or finest moments, but you know, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Yeah, we spoke on the phone about an hour ago. You said the person that you were sparring was quite talented.
You know what? He's so I was invited to sparring over Nick Manners' gym in Leeds. Nick Manners, credible, went over there with my coach Julian, and he's got some good lads there. His lad he's had I think one ABA or two ABA bouts, and he's just sparred, and it fit lad. And I tell you what, it's got like a Mike Tyson style about him, and he's really good. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's exciting to see when he does turn over, when a little bit older, what he does. So yeah, I mean, a person, Curtis Woodhouse's fighter, Adrian, he's going to go over there. They're about the same age, and you know, it'd be good to see tested by someone like similar ages, and you know what I mean, and where people are at, and you know, yeah, he was good. He was a good lad, and you know, so. Got a good solid rounds today as well. So
in a roundabout way, are you basically telling us you was beaten up earlier?
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. You know what? I'm not ashamed of him here. He was good. He was really good, and he was a good kid as well. So, you know, yeah.
Mate, before we get too into the questions, someone sent me a video the other day. I won't mention the YouTube channel, but some people out there that mate don't particularly like you. And this video I was watching, I just couldn't get my head around it because they were saying all sorts of things and you couldn't see the person. It was all pictures. I was just thinking though, clearly if you dislike someone that much, why would you want to give them more exposure? I know you probably get, you know, you've said it yourself, you're quite controversial, but at least with you, if you've got something to say, you know, you're not hiding behind anyone, you're not hiding behind a picture, you'll come and say it and you'll stand by it. I don't know. I just find it strange because if I didn't like someone, I just couldn't spend that much energy on just slating them online.
I just don't understand it. So you get these YouTube channels, you know. I'm not going to mention anyone else, but I went to a certain YouTube blogger's house because he was making up crap of me online, and I found out where he lived. Knocked on his door, and he filled his nappy. I did like a Curtis Woodhouse on them, you know what I mean? And they filled a nappy, and but I actually knocked on their door, and his mum answered and stuff like that. So North London. I won't say the person's name, but you know, these people got to be careful because look, I'm not here on the chance to say I'm going to be the next anti-drug. You know, I'm just having a go at it. You know, I'm never going to be a British champion. You know, I might pip an area at best, and that's it. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm 34 years of age. You know, so you know, it's. I just think there's some people, you know, out there that, you know, they envy of you for doing what they can't do. You know, and if that's the case, I mean, like, you know, there's plenty of boxers, you know, out there who are better than me, and I just think, well, I can't do that, or I'd like to learn that. Don't hate them for it. I just think, fucking hell, well, you know what I'm saying. So I'm not here to, but at the same time, I'm not here to make a load of friends and that. You know, I am controversial. I say what I think. You know, but does that make me a bad person? You know, it's.
When you see videos like that though, and I'm not going to go into what was said, but how does it make you feel? What does it make you think?
I just think they got mental health problems a little bit, because I mean, like, to spend that much amount of time hating, they've got, I feel sorry for that. I really feel sorry for them. I think they've got mental health issues. Maybe they need to be looked at, psychological, you know, something like that. You know, I mean, if someone doesn't like me, just, you know, say it. You know, there's plenty of people who've said it, you know what I mean? But, you know, but to put that much energy into a video, I mean, so bear in mind, some of the production of these videos aren't not bad, you know, so I might think, oh, get him on Porky's Corner, let him do their videos for him. But, you know, it's the fact of the matter is that I just feel sorry for him a little bit, that they want to try and make me look bad, but it's just mentioned on the name more on YouTube, I say. So it's only a good thing. What is that expression? For every 5 people or 10 people like you got one hater or something. So, you know,
I think, I think for you, you know, you do put yourself out there, and for obvious reasons, you know, you want to self-promote, you know, and you want to sell tickets. So you're not going to sit in the background and say nothing, and you know, you're quite comfortable in front of a camera answering questions. I almost feel like, because you are early in your career, there's probably some people out there that maybe feel like you shouldn't have the following that you have, because we speak to a lot of small hall fighters that have been around the game a lot longer than you have, but don't have half the following. So I think maybe people look at you and think, you know, why has he got this? But again, you know, there's banter, and I think then there's a line you just don't cross. There's certain things you don't say, whether you like someone or you don't.
I mean, look, it's like that Emperor lad, you know, it goes over the line. Look, it's all right to call people out. You know, it's all right to say, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, you know. But like you said, there's a line, you know, then, and I think he knocked on the wrong door, really. You know, he started setting his way about a guy called Nicky Smedley, I know quite well. Great, he was a welterweight, fought Amir Khan in amateurs, just lost on 1 point, lost by a round or something. It was the closest, fantastic fight. 16-1 before he retired, but he's making a comeback. Now, Michael called him out. Nicky's like, I've got a show in October, let's go, let's do this, or, you know, or whatever. And, yeah, you've got all these months to train for me, let's go then. Then all of a sudden, nothing. And for a welterweight, believe me, I've been in the ring with Nicky. He can punch. He punches like heavyweight, and his IQ at boxing is fantastic. See where the level was at. And to be honest with you, I won't give Michael 30 seconds against him. You know what I mean? So, you know, and he knocked on the wrong door, and I think that's why it's gone quiet. One of the reasons, you know, there's people saying I've buried him somewhere. You know what I mean? You know, that'll do with me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you did say you were doing a lot of work in your garden. I was just a little bit concerned.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I've got some decking out there now, so, you know, I mean, let's lift it up, see if he's there.
Stranger things have happened, mate. But
now, if you get the coppers knocking on the door, you led me onto that, so you're 50% to blame,
mate. I just think as well that, you know, nowadays, you know, obviously we've got a YouTube channel, and, you know, we want people to watch it. We don't create content for no one to watch it, but I think, like, it's got to a point where people will say anything now just to get views.
I mean, this is the thing. I never really, I mean, regarding myself, I never really set out to go into professional boxing. That was never the plan. It was never the plan. I only started up boxing 6 years ago for a lad who was dying of cancer in my local town. And it just rolled on from then. Then the Shane Fury thing come along. Then a lad from Sheffield called Perry Howe, who's a cruiserweight, called me out. So I turned pro over for him. He doesn't want to know. So I'm like, you know, he's stuck. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not going to be next day. And people criticise, oh, you're no good and that. Look, there's plenty of people in the pro game who will never be at the top, but there's a lot of journeymen. You know, so I'll name you like journeymen like Danny Whitaker or Phil Williams, heavyweights who can do rounds in the ring. They're never going to be knockout artists, but you need these sort of people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, he needs these sort of people. I mean, look at Johnny Fisher. Look how much he's come on. You know, I mean, I like to see it. I think he could get maybe a British title at some stage. I'd like to see him get an area belt. I think he's ready for area belt now. And I think the concept of, see, that's the thing. He's got a great following, more so than likes of who's in front of him, like Fabio Wardley. He's got a great following. Should he get criticised? You know, should Fabio be jealous of him? Jealous of Johnny Fisher's dad? You know what I mean? I just think to myself, you need, you know, following helps you. I mean, yeah, I'm not a lover of Ebony Bridges, but she's got a following, and if it helps her and earns her money, good luck to her. You know, yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't particularly like how she goes about things, but if it works for her, why stick the needle in? Just live and let live. You know what I mean? And there's too many people, and there'll be other girls, fighters out there, would be envy of her. They'll be having a go at her, really. And I don't think that's fair sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah, I think these days we live in an era where it is easy to jump online and say things about people and sit behind a screen and do it, because I think a lot of these people, if they were face to face with people, they probably wouldn't say half the things they do. And some of these people, if they put as much energy in doing something positive, then they probably create good stuff. It might take a little bit longer to get out there, but you know, it's going to be more sustainable, surely.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, and that's a good point, Tom. Yeah, the thing is that, you know, look, I mean, we've had COVID, we've got this Ukrainian war going on. You know, there's bigger things than people hating on it. People, you know what I'm saying? And I just think to myself, you know, I mean, it's like I could say I could hate the fighters that you probably mentioned today, like Nick Campbell and Joe McFarlane. No, I don't hate them. You know, I think they're good fighters. You know, they're good in, like, I think they're pipping up better than they should be. You know, they're in my pool. But at the same time, is that you shouldn't hate them. Hate them. At the end of the day, it's a business as well. So why should you hate them? And this is what people, they go too far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course. I think, you know, you're playing the game as well. Of course, you know, you want to create interest. You want to say a few things.
Exactly.
Again, there's a line. What did you make of the Anthony Joshua incident with the students? Because, you know, it's well within line what we're talking about.
AJ's going to get criticised for whatever he does, isn't he? I mean, what's your opinion on it? I'm going to put you on the spot for a change.
I asked the questions, man. No, I think generally speaking, if you're going out of your way to start calling, you know, it's just, you know, if you're a student and you're hanging out the window and it's just some random guy or a random individual that you don't know, and you start giving that person abuse, I think that's out of order, and I don't condone that. And I hate people that go out of their way to make other people feel uncomfortable. However, I think if you're in the public eye, like Anthony Joshua, globally one of the biggest boxers on the planet, by what, maybe Canelo, I think you half expect it. You know, you're going to be called, maybe, I don't know what they called him. Was it a dosser, glass jaw, or something along those lines? Did he overreact? I don't know, maybe. But you know, I think that the position he's in, you're subject to a little bit of banter. I wasn't there. I don't know what else was said. There may be other things that's
the thing. That's the thing. That's a bit of where I wanted to get to. Right, you don't know what was said before, what happened before, and you don't know what happened after. Right, and people have a habit of this, portraying people in the wrong way. Now, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a lover of AJ. I feel sorry for him a little bit in some ways, because, you know, he's going to get he's under the spotlight more than even Fury. Right, this is going to be microscoped so much as rematch against Usyk. I think he's going the wrong way about it. My personal opinion. You know, he's got Garcia, that Garcia's his coach, or whatever it is. Wrong move. You know, he's going to lose it. He's going to lose. Yeah, he's got another 2 paydays. That's him out. That's my prediction. I wouldn't have gone down that way personally.
I think as well, because I think when I've seen him in a few interviews, not that he does many. I think the last one I really saw him in was the one with Coogan. They'd done quite a lengthy one. I take it you've seen it.
Yeah.
And this, my personal opinion, it was almost like he was so fed up with people saying that he couldn't outbox Usyk, so he felt like he had to go and prove the public wrong almost. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, sometimes maybe, I don't know, again, with that incident, it's hard to say that if they might say something about his family, they might have crossed the line like we were talking about earlier. If it was just, oh, you dosser, and it was said in a not in a sort of malicious way, then, I would imagine he'd probably accept that. But again, you don't know the ins and outs. All I know is that, he obviously confronted them, and as your phrase was earlier, I think they all filled their nappies.
Yeah, I mean, no, I would do probably. But the thing is with Anthony Joshua, but the thing is, Anthony Joshua, right? The one thing I do agree with, you're never going to outbox Usyk, right? You're never going to outbox him. So the only way he's going to have to beat him is brutally. Basically, what Tyson Fury did to Wilder, second fight, just on him and take the shots going forward and just absolutely try to rag him about like a rag doll. Only way you're going to beat him and see if he folds. And just put constant pressure on him. Now, you're never going to outbox him. Now, but if he lands, you don't know how durable Usyk is, because I can imagine he is durable because he's been in the Klitschko's way before the Olympics. He's turned him on the head before the Olympics. So Usyk is pretty durable, but that's the only way. He's the bigger man, and a bigger man should always walk down a smaller man. And that's my personal opinion. But I think this Garcia, this coach, Angel Fernandez, I just think he needs to get shot of them. I'll do a different move personally.
I think as well, he's had so much time to think about the defeat. I think it's the rematch is going to be now in September in Saudi Arabia. So a year on from the last fight, and so much pressure, so many people watching him. There's huge amounts of pressure going into that fight. And of course, everyone says that he needs to go in there and impose his size and sort of maybe take a few to land a few. But I don't know, he's been on the canvas a lot, hasn't he, in the last sort of few fights. Maybe some people question his punch resilience. And Usyk's going to get stronger. Do you know what I mean? It's a really tough one for him.
I mean, look, you got to break these down a little bit, because, to be honest, this is what I would do. Is they said, look, if Anthony Joshua came to me and said, look, what would I do, mate? So I say, look, this is what you need to do. There's 258 management stuff. Not get rid of it. Get someone to take it over, because I know it's his business enterprise or whatever, because he is a businessman. Let someone else run it. Forget about it for 4, 8, 12, probably 4 months, right? I'll go out to Eddie Reynoso out in Mexico, move out there for 20 weeks, right? For a camp, right? And be solely, pay Eddie Reynoso some decent money and say, look, I want you to concentrate on me, right, for 20 weeks and get me prepared for Usyk, right? And just really make himself uncomfortable, right? Because the thing is you need to start being uncomfortable in this game. If you're going to beat someone like Usyk, I mean, are you telling me Usyk, you look at him, look at the different backgrounds, right, at the minute, right? He's out fighting on the front line, the Ukraine, right? He's not comfortable. He ain't been with his family. That's going to give him more motivation, right? Yeah, Joshua he's in London, wherever he's based, in his crib or something, going around, managing his fighters. He's got Boatsi, he's got a few others, managing them, what I'm saying? He's got his home comforts, goes up to train at EIS or Angel Fernandez. He's in a routine. He needs to get rid of that and go real uncomfortable. Go to a different country, perhaps, somewhere hot, climatise in a hot area like Mexico, because you've got to bear in mind both of them are the same, okay? And go through the grinder. That's what's the under. I mean, look at, how could we compare it? Look at Lennox Lewis. I don't know what fight it was, but he lost, or he went to the Cronk gym and took on Manuel Stewart. okay, and developed. And he moved his way out there, and he became a better fighter. Lost the Rat Man, obviously, and rebuild, and obviously got the win back from him. That's what you need to look at. It needs to be a big change. If the existence not working, why? I mean, he did a minor change, but he needs to take his comforts away from him. Personally, that's how I would do it.
And do you still think that Usyk will win the rematch?
Yeah, and I think he'll knock him out this time.
How hard do you think it's been for him? Because unlike a football team, you lose 1 week, you might win the next. But he's not been in a ring since last September. How mentally tough do you think it's been for him, just sort of thinking about the defeat? And it's such a long time before he gets in there to try and sort of right a wrong, if you like.
You know what? He did this against Andy Ruiz. He lost. He got caught. It was too close for him. Thought he could bully him. And Andy Ruiz showed great resilience. Say what you like, a fat Mexican, he could fight. And I still think he's still top 10 in the world, Andy Ruiz. He stuck to he can clear. Look, AJ can clearly stick to a game plan. He did that in the second rematch with Rob McCracken. Fought on the outside, let him stand in centre of the ring, and and it worked. Yeah, so he can win the back, but this is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Usyk. He's just a small version of Fury, isn't he? That's what he is. He's a small heavyweight. He's got one big heavyweight, Fury. He's got great technical skill, southpaw, orthodox, can do anything. Usyk's the other one, and you're not going to outbox him. So it's got to put constant pressure on him this time.
Do you think he needs to knock him out early as well?
Yeah, he needs to empty his tank, load up on him, and I'll tell you what. If you cast your mind back, Usyk v Derek Chisora, the pandemic.
Yeah.
What Del Boy did to him. How uncomfortable was he in that first round, Usyk? Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think arguably you could say that Chisora gave him a harder night than Joshua.
This is what I mean. So, and he was at him. And to be fair, I thought in the first round, you know what? The hell we could do him here. I thought, you know what I mean? He's giving him some trouble. And it was the pace that Del Boy came at him. And that was a good version of Del Boy. I thought that was the best version of Del Boy we've seen for many years. He had a bit of a purple patch he's gone through. Now, when the juice started to rang out in third or fourth round, Usyk started to get a grip of him. And then Usyk, I don't think he's bothered about giving rounds in 1 and 2. He always does that. He always does it, and he always gives rounds. He likes to work out his opponent. Canelo does the same thing. All the greats do the same thing. Lomachenko does the same thing. They like to work out a pattern with their opponent. Let them, you see. And with that fight, Del Boy was really uncomfortable the first couple of rounds. Now, if Joshua's a big man, if he can do that, and I think, I no disrespect to Del Boy, I think I would have thought Joshua was a bit more powerful than Del Boy, especially in combos, and got up close. He could do some serious damage, but it's very well us saying this in hindsight now. It's hard to implement it, but that's his own possible chance, because forget the boxing, you just got to be dogfight against him. Put him in a dogfight. That's the only way. Sorry, AJ, mate. It's the way it is.
Yeah, mate. Big fight, a lot of pressure. I'm looking forward to it. A little while off yet, but it will soon come around. Talking about fights, mate. The last time we did speak, you were talking about your fight. It was meant to be an exhibition. What happened with that?
So it was meant to be an expedition. They put it down as a proper loss, something. And I wasn't really game for it or really try. I thought it was just, because it was a different opponent all of a sudden, and all these things, it's down as a loss. So I thought, F-U-C-K, fuck. So what's going to happen is now is 1-1. I'm going to go out to fight. There is another guy who was originally I was going to fight while I was out there. It's going to be probably he pulled out due to COVID. Going to fight him, and then going to revenge that loss and have a proper no one going in a proper fight against him. Have that one, and we see what's in the UK back into this year. Basically, we see what's there for me, and that's the plan, really. You know.
How frustrating is that for you? Because I know from speaking to you previously, you spoke about keeping that O for as long as possible.
Yeah. Look, I mean, this is how I look at it. I mean, I think as a boxer or any fighter, I mean, people say they rate Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe because they never lost. But I think the greats, if you look at, you know, like the likes of, you know, your greatest fighters ever. So you look at probably Thomas Hearns, like your Fab Four. They've got one. They've lost one. And I think, and Lennox Lewis, perfect example. He lost one. He knew what he had to do in the rematch, had a game plan, and it worked. I think to be in that position, to come back from a loss is mentally challenging. And it tests you every area as a boxer. Whereas Floyd, that's why I've got respect for Joshua, really, because he could have lost that rematch against Andy Ruiz and get sucked in, but he kept a game plan. And yeah, as my reservations over AJ, but you know, the thing is you're tested as all aspects of a boxer. When Floyd Mayweather's never lost, you know, like, I'm not saying he's crap or anything. You know, he was a chin that never got hit. And don't get me wrong, he's one of the greatest ever. But he started picking them at the end, hand picking them fights at the end, and you know, to lose one. But I think this rubbishing, and this is why I like Derek Soros, rubbishing of, oh, if you got a loss, your value goes down. Look how valuable Derek Soros is still. You know, he's still getting fights. He's got 12, 13 on his record now, losses, something like that. He's nearly lost as half as he won, isn't he now?
Yeah, he definitely brings value for money though, doesn't he, Derek Chisora?
You know what you're going to get with him, and I still would if they say, "Oh, I've got a fight with so and so." You know what? I'll go and watch him live because he's entertaining. You know what you're going to get with him. He'll just come forward and go for you. Didn't think he was that good against the rematch against Joseph Parker. Thought he was just a bit, I don't know, cylinder less than he was in the first fight. But yeah,
I think Parker was quite sharp in the rematch, though. He's picking his shots quite nice.
I don't know what to make of Parker because he's never. Look, he never really. He doesn't really set a light for me. He doesn't really set it alight for me. You know, his previous fights, you know, with AJ, he just didn't really set it alight for me. He just. And I like to see, I mean, if there's a rematch against Dillian White, that's apparently on the cards, maybe. I like to see it, you know, but I like to see what Zandy Lee has brought to him. I haven't seen enough of it yet. And it takes time, you know. It doesn't happen overnight. And he's been in the Fury camp, so we'll see.
I think for me, he's technically a good boxer, but I just like to see him be a little bit more ruthless.
Yeah, I agree. A bit more spiteful. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So when are you next out, mate?
So I'm out in the next couple of weeks. I'm out on 19th June, Prague. I'm away on the 18th with MSM Management. Got who's main event? Got Mark Ellens, who's main event. Got Laura Payne out there. Who else we got out there? A few good fights out there. So, you know, I'm on that card. And yeah, I've got this. I think he's 3-15. So, you know, he was a cruiserweight, but he stepped to the heavyweight because he can't make weight. And, you know, and he pulled out of COVID last time, but yeah, I've got him now. So we'll see, really.
And what are I know last time we spoke as well, or the time before we spoke about Nick Campbell and Jay McFarlane. I know you've had a little bit of back and forth. What's any updates there? Any potential fight later on in the year?
There's potential fight maybe on the table with Jay McFarlane. There's nothing. I mean, I don't know if he's back in training. Back into the year, there was a fight zone mentioned, you know, but I prefer if it was on a slightly better platform than that. And Nick Campbell, I know Nick Campbell's just his hands recovering. You know, I mean, I actually speak to him normally messaging. You know, as much of a boring bastard he is. You know, and but he's actually, you know what? You know, I know he's got a personality of this. I'm trying to think what's in my room. You know what I mean? To compare him with, he's just got a personality of a wall, isn't he? Really. So, but he's pleasant enough to speak to, and I think he's still recovering from his hand injury. So I think he's out, and I think you won't want someone like me at the end of the year. You know, so I think he'll have like a easier fight, then go for me. And so I'd like to have a go with Jake McFarlane at some time, but yeah, it all depends ifs and whens. The time's right. You know, I've got 2 fights at least before then because I want to keep active. I don't want to become stale because these guys, and it's no disrespect to them. You know, I mean, James. Well, I mean, when was the Jack Catchell and Josh Taylor fight? Was it like January or something?
I want to say February some point.
February. So I've had 2 fights since then. I'm going to have a 3rd fight. So I've had 3 fights. You know what I mean? And I think active plays a big part on your development. I mean, Nick, yeah, they haven't been active as of recent. You know, I know Jay started, I think, seeing a bit on him Insta training again. You know, whether he does or not. Yeah, but there's been possible talk, so we'll see. You know, I think it'd be a great build up to either me, Nick, or Jay. You know, one of them. You know, I mean, I personally think Jay's the better fighter. I know he lost to Nick, and people are going to think crazy. They're going to say, oh yeah, but Nick beat him. Yeah, but you saw the worst Jay McFarlane. You saw the worst. And I just think he didn't train for him. Just got in out of shape. I've seen a better Jay McFarlane than that. And that's no disrespect to Nick, because Jay McFarlane's been boxing quite a long time, but Nick, he's just come out of rugby, you see. This is why it'd be a good tussle with him, because I was a decent level rugby league. He was decent level rugby union. So
you're not allowed to scrum in there, mate.
Yeah.
There's no scrumming allowed in the boxing match.
Well, we know, but the point is that we both come from similar backgrounds, you see, so it would be good. And he was on the same management team as I was. I am now. And he's obviously moved on to better pastures. So, you know, I'm stepping in like behind him a little bit. So I'm going to give it 6 months. I'll be nipping at both their heels anyway. So the prospectively there. Regarding any other opponents, maybe. I mean, I was offered a couple of weeks ago to fight.
If you could fight the next 3 fights, if you had it your way, who would you fight?
Next 3 fights now.
Yeah.
I'll get these 2 out of the way. Then let's do 3 after that. So into this year, starting back into this year. I'd have Jay first. I'd like to have Steve Robinson at some point. I think he's worse out of the 3, to be fair. I don't know why. I think they both, the other 2, offer more. Nick maybe next, and we'll see. Maybe, you know, I don't know really. Nick and Jay definitely at some point. It's probably about it really. You know, then we see where else it is. You know, I still got my heart set on Perry Howe at Sheffield. He's like a cruiserweight going over to heavyweight, so that could be a possibility. Yeah, so there's 3 I want. So we'll see.
And just looking at the first half of this year, I can't believe we're in June already. What have you made of the first sort of 6 months? What fights have stood out for you?
Was it? I'll tell you what, the Jack Catchell and Josh Taylor has massively. You know, Jack Catchell. Feel sorry for the poor lad. It's worth it. Look, he was on. I know for like, you know, through sources that he was on through pandemic working on building sites to make a bit of money, just labouring. You know, and he gets robbed by that. You know, the board of boxing control need to have a great big look at themselves. This is why, one of the reasons why. And I'm going to note this. Yeah, I've got a foreign license, so basically I've got a Lithuanian license. So I've got the same license as Savannah Marshall. I've got the same license. I think Chris Eubank Jr. had a Lithuanian license. Don't know if you've got a British border control. There's a few well-known people got a Lithuanian license. Now,
what is that?
That's no. Do you know what it is? Well, with British border control, I had an interview in the January, right? Then back in the last year, sorry. Like it was 1st October, then it was November, then it was like just before Christmas. Then it was just, I got sick of them delaying it. I don't know if it's the controversy that is caused on Porky's Corner or whatever, but they kept putting it back, saying, "Oh well, it's pandemic, and you know all this stuff is a big." And obviously there was no fights in January, so they kind of made it like, you know, pandemic, blames. But look, it's a shower of shambolic, some of the decisions in British border control. I mean, let's be honest about it. You know, you look at the Jack Catterall Josh Taylor fight, that should be overturned.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's a shame that, obviously you remember that fight for all the wrong reasons.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, it makes you sick. I mean, if I was Jamie Moore and was Nigel Travis, I would be pig sick that happens. Jack Catterall, he beat Josh Taylor hands down. And to be honest with you, and you got Ben Davison coming out saying, "Oh yeah, I thought Josh Taylor pinched probably 3 rounds in that fight at best, right? If he was lucky. Jack Catterall had him all night, and that's it." And to be honest, if it was that big a deal, why couldn't they just have a rematch? Label him as tampering, have a rematch clause in it. It normally is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think sometimes there's so many people involved, so much money involved. It's probably not in a lot of people's best interest for that match to be, the rematch to go ahead. But yeah, no, it's a shame, mate, that, you remember it for the wrong reasons. And of course,
But I mean, sorry, but why? I mean, Jack Catterall, I'm glad he went to the police about it for the corruption. I'm so happy for him. He went and did that and pushed it, because that needs to look at. The problem is the British border control need an independent body, separate and outside, to look at them in this sport, because otherwise it's internal inquiries all the time, and it will change because there will be another robbery. There will be another robbery this year probably. I don't know which fight is going to. It'll be another one. There'll be hell on, because he's the likes of Victor Loughlin. Victor Loughlin again. If I know, like, this is the thing, I'm dreading this. If I ever get a gig on Match or Edinburgh, I'll be looking at the referees. I'll be asking the promoter who's the referees, and I'll be asking foreign judges, because I just don't like them. I just think the crap. I think Victor Loughlin, look, did you watch Babic v Bolski?
I didn't, mate. I heard about it.
Right, so that fight between them two, obviously you had Ellie Scotney was good, Chantel Cameron, then you had Bolski v Babic. Now, a great fight, fantastic. Now, Bolski nearly knocks out Babic clean out, right? Just on the bell went and just caught him with a right hook or whatever it was.